Well, Nikki, I'm so happy to have you here. I'm going to introduce you again so that you can nod and say, yes, all this is true. So Nikki has a wonderful, wonderful YouTube channel that she has been doing for about 5 years, and we're going to talk to her all about that because I know you guys have questions. I'm sure you have questions about it because that's probably how most of you know her. But Nikki also has some new projects going on this year. Actually, she seems like a woman that always has a lot of projects going on, which is really fun. She has some new projects going on this year, including she started offering one-on-one organizing services in her local area, as well as virtual organizing, which is a really, really cool thing that I know a lot of people want to know about. So we're going to chat with her about that. Nikki, I'm so glad you made it. And so Nikki, I would love for you to just tell us a little bit about how you started your channel and how you got into this whole organizing thing, and then we'll go from there.
Sure. So first I'll say hi to everyone, and congratulations to you, Jen.
Thank you so much.
I know you are glowing.
I'm really very excited.
Well, to say about the start, it was just, and I don't want to say on a whim, but it really was. You know, I was living in the UK. My husband was Air Force, and so traveling with him, I've always had to kind of, you know, change jobs here and there, and just kind of wherever we went, you know, I started fresh. And so when he retired and we moved back to Charleston, South Carolina, he was like, it's time to follow your dreams. I thought, okay, my dream is to be a housewife, sit at home and watch TV all day, you know. And
how can I make money doing that?
I know,
exactly.
right? But, you know, it lasts for only so long and then you get bored. At least I did.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, what do I want to do? And I remember when I was in the UK, I had went to like a crafting party, and the lady that hosted it, she said, you know, sometimes I make YouTube videos, you know, showing my craft or whatever. Didn't think anything of it. I really didn't know too much about YouTube at the time. But then when I got back, well, when I got to Charleston, it came back up, and I said, I remember her making the video. So I was like, let me try this. So one day I got my little camera, did not even know how to work the video feature on the camera, just a little point and shoot. And so I recorded how to put together a teacup lamp, and held on to
that
it.
Was the very
first video. Held on to it for a couple of weeks. Did not show it to anyone but my mom. And then finally posted it. And actually that's how it started. I just kept posting and posting. Then I started getting noticed and more viewers. You know, of course it took, you know, a while, but I just stayed consistent, and whoo, it just fired.
That is so awesome. So is that first video still up on your channel?
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. So we can go back and see your progression.
Oh my goodness, yes. It's very cringeworthy. But yes, I did not take it down. It is there for everyone to enjoy. And it is a treat, I tell you. But
that is so funny. So you started with craft stuff and then moved on to organizing videos?
No, it was basically just organizing my home. And that's how I got the name of my channel. I said At Home with Nikki. So I was basically just filming things I was doing around my home. So if I was organizing a closet, I'd film organizing the closet. If I was doing craft, so whatever I was doing at home, you know, being a stay-at-home wife, I filmed. So
that is awesome. That is so awesome. So now did it grow? You said it grew kind of slowly at first, and then it really started to take off, right?
Yes, yes. It took about, I would say, 2 years. And that's of me constantly posting content, you know, on a weekly basis, just posting. And then another YouTuber ran across my video, and she had a larger following, and she shouted me out. And from her shout out, it gave me my first big boost of, and many of you may know her, Organized Clutterbug. And she's an organizer also in Canada. And yeah, she shouted me out, and it just started really growing from that point. So.
That is so awesome. That is so cool. So now you have a team working with you behind the scenes to create your content. Yeah, I would imagine that that's like the bulk of your time is just figuring out what to do next, probably, right?
And
tell us about that.
I have the most amazing team. I have to say that, first of all, because when I knew that I was transitioning to being a professional organizer, I knew that At Home with Nikki would still be one unit. I was going to have my YouTube and all of my, you know, blogging, everything that I do as a social media person, I was going to also incorporate into the business. So I didn't want two separate entities. And so bringing on a team, they knew that, okay, this is going to be one crazy job, because not only do they help me handle the professional organizing side, they help me handle the social media, YouTube, working with brands and all kinds of things. So never a dull moment around here.
That is so cool. That is so cool. So I have a question for you. when you started doing organizing videos, were you were somewhat aware that there were professional organizers who do that, like one-on-one with people? Like, was that in your awareness that was also a career that you could do?
No,
Okay,
not at all.
Okay.
The more I got into YouTube, the more my content drifted towards the organizing. And then, I did learn that, people do this as a profession, and it was really a big thing. But I did learn that later on into YouTube. So,
okay.
But no, starting out, I had no clue. Yeah.
Okay. So, oh my gosh, I have so many questions. So you told me on the phone a couple months ago that you had no idea there were so many professional organizers who followed your channel, right?
No, not until I came to you. I started, look, and by the way, I am a Super Jen fan. You are awesome. And I just have to say this. I'm going to be honest. When I was starting, when I knew I was starting the business, I'm doing all my research, and the first thing you hit is NAPO. And I hit NAPO, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, good information, okay. But just not, me, I'm a little crazy, And so then I hit Jen, and I'm like, what? I mean, it was just like I was home, and I felt just so energized with my business, and I felt motivated. And so I am a huge Jen fan. So you do no wrong in my eyes, Jen. You do no wrong.
That is making my week. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That is so sweet. Well, and when you joined my group,
yeah.
And that was actually back earlier this year. And then I had, people like got all excited. They were like, I follow every one of your videos. And that's what you said to me was surprising to you, is that a lot of the girls who are my girls, they're your girls. Like they said that, you're one of their biggest inspirations for, learning how to organize different areas. And so
it really blew me away, because I had went and posted when I first joined the group, and I made a post, and then I saw all these comments, all my friends out there on there. Was like, I didn't know you all were organizers too. So it was really, it was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah.
That is awesome. So, okay. So here's one of my big questions. At what point did it, become on your heart that you really wanted to start working with people one-on-one, especially because you've gotten to this point with your YouTube channel where that is your full-time job, and that obviously is going to take a lot of your time. But at some point, like, what was the process? Like, was it a conversation with a specific person or with your husband? Or like, when did you say, I really want to expand At Home with Nikki to do that?
Well, actually in the process of doing my videos, I mean, you wouldn't believe the amount of friends out there that I have connected with, and, just the letters and everything, just the communication that, how much I helped them with this, or, one lady, and it just blew me away. I'm not telling too many stories that I'll start boo-booing, but she told me she's literally in her bed for 2 years, and she couldn't get out of her bed because her husband had passed away. She had 3 kids, and my videos got her out of her bed. And for the first time, organized her refrigerator. And she showed me pictures of how she packed her kids' lunch, and she hadn't done that in 2 years. And I'm like, wow. And I just have a huge passion for it, and I just grew into it. And I knew at some point with YouTube, I was ready to take it to another level. I felt like, yes, I was reaching tons of friends and things out worldwide, but I wasn't really doing a lot in my own community. And I didn't feel, I was like, I want to do something at home. And I'm an entrepreneur at heart. And I knew that this was, the way to go. And, that's the thing about this business too, is, it's one thing to love organization and, to love doing that, but to be in business is a whole different baby, So you really have to have a passion for business along with having that passion for organizing,
Right.
So.
Okay, so awesome. So that was when I crossed paths with you, is when you said you were busy launching your services.
Yeah.
So tell me about what that looks like for you. Like, how do you manage everything that you do in a day? Because you have a subscription service as well. And I know obviously your team helps you with a lot of this, but like, what does your week look like, or how do you fit all this together? And again, I think it's really an amazing direction that you are taking this, because I've met a lot of organizers who also want to start a YouTube channel, or they want to do more with their blog. And so it's like, I would love to hear from you, like, how do you make this work? Like creating content and coming up with new things while also fitting in client work.
Yeah. Well, I knew going into this, what was key for me is to keep the ability to stay creative. Keep the ability to do what I love, because I don't want to do anything that I don't love in my life anymore. I want to do what I love and what I'm passionate about. And so I do have a wonderful team, which was a struggle for me in the beginning, because I was a one-man show for so long. It was scary, you know, it's number one, having the responsibility of hiring someone, you know, that's a big undertaking. And then also just, you know, letting go of that control, because I have control issues. And,
Yeah.
you know,
We do, I think.
yeah. So, you know, I'm growing. My team will tell you I am definitely growing in that area. But,
yeah.
But I knew I needed help. And so, you know, with my business now, what I do is we have lots of time for certain things. And so I know that I can do 12 virtual organization sessions in a week. We know that we can have 24 clients on the books at one time. We know that Nikki cannot do more than 24 clients on a book at one time. And so we have those blocks of time set for VO appointments. We have blocks of time set for going out meeting with clients, and they have to fit into those times or we can't service, because I also have to produce content. So Mondays is blocked out for just strictly recording video, you know, and I do have someone editing the video, but it's important for me to film because I need to stay connected with my viewers, and I don't want to get all business. You know, I want to stay connected, and so I want that camera shaking. I want them to know that Nikki is behind the camera, because it's going all over the place. You know, so so it's important for me to still film. And although, you know, sometimes my team helps me with filming, 90% of the time it's me, and so I do have help with the editing part. But we have it structured. It's like a well-ran machine, but it's very structured as far as the time. And they are so wonderful because they allow me to be creative, because like when I have an appointment, the only thing that I have to do is they tell me, okay, it's time. I pull the file, sit down, and I can spend that time with that client and really focus on that client without having all of these, okay, send the invoice and do all this and all the crazy stuff behind the scenes. I'm not having to deal with. So it helps me really be able to help and focus my client, you know, with my client. So.
Okay. All right. So you believe in focusing on your strengths and letting other people help you with their stuff, right?
Yes.
That's something we talk about. Yeah.
Here with and they know it. They know me well. So. Yeah.
So, okay, so here's the $1 million question. We all want to know a little bit more about virtual organizing, because that is something that some people have, you know, played with a little bit or experimented with, or they've seen that other people offer it. They would love to know a little bit more, and I think each organizer probably does this a little bit differently. But how you mentioned to me, and I hope you don't mind me saying this, you said at first you're like, I'm not really sure if this is going to work out that great, but then you started getting into it with people, and you're like, okay, I see how to be able to help people even remotely. So tell us how it works for you. Like, how do you get them to send pictures? Do you do video? Tell us about your process.
So what happens is they typically contact us, and then Jennifer, what she does is she speaks with them, and she does all the marketing, and she sells the packages, and then, you know, she's awesome. So she does all that. She makes sure that, and then we talk afterwards. So after she meets with them, they send her pictures, and then, you know, I look at the pictures, and we use Trello, by the way. That's what we use to communicate as far as working here in the office. And so I'll put the pictures in Trello, and I can see the client, all the information, and then I basically say, hey, this is a 3-session package, or this is a, you know, 6-session package, or whatever it is. She gets with them. They do all the invoicing, scheduling. And then I meet with the client. Now, when I meet with them, at first, Jen, I really was like, I don't know about this, because it's like, it's over the computer. I'm not touching anything. They're doing all the work. How is this going to work? I love it. I love it. I love it.
Tell us more. Why do you love it?
Well, I love it for the fact that one thing that scared me was that I didn't think that I could really help the client not being there. And that concerned me, because I was not going to take anyone's money if I truly was not helping them. And so I quickly learned that I can help them virtually, and we hustle. And they know me. They tell Jennifer all the time, oh, she's good with that camera. I can't get away with anything because I catch it all. And
so do they always organize while you're on the phone?
Oh, we're doing it together. We're going through every file. We're going through all the papers. They position the phone, so I'm right there. And
that's awesome.
Yes, and I'm coaching them along. Oh, you don't need that. Come on, let's move it along. Come on. Yeah. And so and we're seeing the progress after. Now, one thing that was key for me too is, even though it was virtual, I still wanted some type of ability to have a connection with them that was more tangible. So what I do is, like when we're organizing, I do all of their labels. So like if we're organizing a file cabinet, we create the labels here, we send it to the client so that they don't have to do that work.
That's nice. Yeah, that's really
And so I feel like that's a way to connect with them instead of it's just all virtual. They feel like, you know, I'm really more connected to the session that way. So
that is so awesome. So do you think that So obviously a lot of the people you're working with, they know you because they've gotten to know you through your videos.
Yes.
You know, so they have this special connection, or it feels like that probably to them already, because they're like, I finally have the opportunity to work with somebody who already inspires me. So do you think that that's part of what makes it work so well, is that they really want to do well, like for you and with you, and keep up their results and their progress?
I do. I think that it's, I feel like a lot of times so far, I would say 90% of my clients, when I meet them, I feel a connection. Because already they know me from YouTube, or we've been chit-chatting over the years, or there's some connection. So, and they know a lot about me. I may not know as much about them, but still know a lot about me. So we don't have that, that time that we need to get to know each other is very minimal, because we have a connection there. So, that does work. That does work really well. And that's important, especially with being virtual, because when you're virtual, it can tend to be a little cold because you're not there. So having, establishing that rapport is so important. Yeah.
So when you launched your organizing services, your virtual organizing services, did you announce it on YouTube, or did you send out an email? Like, how did people know that they can now actually work with you if they want to?
Okay, so I added some features on the website to basically, because my website was focused on my blog and YouTube and things like that, so I had to tweak it a bit. The organizing side of it. So when I did that, they started noticing the changes in the website. I did put it in my newsletter. I send out a newsletter every Friday, so I did put it in there. I think I mentioned it on maybe 1 or 2 videos, but then we started getting a great response. So we don't really market as much. We do put it in the newsletter, but that brings us comfortable business. So we haven't done too much marketing. We need to do more probably, but right now we're at a good pace, and I don't want to get slammed. I don't want to, because I want my customer service to stay on point and things like that. Yeah. And I'm still learning, Jen. I really am. I'm learning so much about this business. I feel like a newborn baby when it comes to the whole professional organizing business. So I want to kind of, take it a little slow. Yeah.
That is really, really cool. Okay, so tell us. So do you have team members that would ever work with you? Just forgive me if I don't know what direction you ended up going with this. Do you have team members that work with people in your area one-on-one, like face-to-face, or do you do that at all, or are you just focusing on the virtual? Okay.
No, we do. I would say probably about 20% of our clients are face-to-face. It's not, and maybe even less. I would say 15%. We have not started marketing in the area. I think I did 1 Facebook marketing ad in my area, but other than that, I haven't. I did have some word of mouth, but we do go in the team. I mean, we do it as a team. Go to me and someone else. But I do want to grow in that area, but not so much, because that takes more time for me to leave the office. Have to go on sessions, and so it's harder. But I do still want to do a bit more in the community. Yeah.
And with your virtual organizing sessions, do you do 1 hour at a time, or does it depend on the client? What is your usual session time?
I do 2 hours.
2 hours, okay.
I found that 2 hours is enough time to get a lot done without overwhelming the client. After 2 hours, they're spent most times. So yeah.
Well, and the benefit, and I want to share this because I know a lot of people ask about this. How can I take on more clients when I have a limitation? Hours of the day limitation, physical limitation. Some kind of injury or pregnancy or anything like that. And, the huge benefit is that you do not have to be there hauling their stuff out. Yes. And that is one of the hardest parts about being a professional organizer, is it is a very physical job. I think it's very emotionally kind of heavy for your client, and it's physically heavy for you, because you're like, boom, 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 like you're having to just go. So I'm curious have you run across any people who are requesting virtual organizing who you don't think it's a good fit for?
Yes, I actually, and I can say this. Well, this client is my first client. Was probably my most challenging client that I ever had, and so I didn't think that they were a fit for me. But I was learning, and I was excited to do my first client. But they weren't virtual; they were in the community. But I quickly learned that I was not. They had something going on that was beyond what I could handle. So we have kind of got our screening process tightened up so that we can make sure that we can only service people that we know that we can help. But back to what you said about organizers being able to do this profession if they're pregnant or if they have those limitations. perfect. Virtual is perfect, you know. And a lot of times I notice with it, when someone contacts me, it's not that they can't do it physically. They can do it physically. That's not the issue. It's just they need that push. They need that friend. Someone saying, come on, let's do that. You don't need that. Why do you have 30 files? You only need 2. You know, they need that, you know. And so, you know, that's what the main thing is. So that's why virtual really works, because they need that friend pushing them along, and you can do that over the computer, you know.
Yeah, that's so awesome. That's so cool. So do you have people who want to do kind of like a maintenance with you, where, you know, they want to just do a virtual like once a month for a long time, or are you finding some people kind of want to work all together, more like your traditional clients? Are they do they kind of act the same way with virtual organizing too, where some projects are more like, let's get it all done all at once?
And I haven't done, I haven't dabbled in the maintenance yet. And we don't promote it, and I should. I have it on my website, but we haven't marketed that, and we should. We really should. But right now we're in just the, you know, we'll go room by room. So they'll buy a package, we'll get through that package, and then they'll go to another one. So we just work through the house. So that's how it's been mainly going at this point. So.
That is so awesome. Okay, these I'm not catching all the questions, but I'm seeing one question I want to ask. Dee asked, how do you do the consultation with a virtual organizing client? How do you do it?
So what we do is I'll do a 30-minute consult. And so I'll get online with them. They take me through the space so that I can see the space. And it's only 30 minutes. So it's enough time for me to see the space, know what we have to do, can get back with them if they need to get anything for the session, and we're good. But with me, my first thing, I'm all about decluttering, first of all. So to, you know, 99.9% of the time, that's all I do is let's get in there and declutter first, because we need to get rid of everything and then talk about what we need to bring in. So
yeah. That's really cool. That is really cool. Okay, good. I hope that answered Dee's question. Also, have you had people, I'm not sure if you offer this officially, but do you have people that have also asked you to do some styling as well, or help them style their spaces?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that was also new to me, because I wasn't thinking about that when I started the business. I was thinking pure organization. And then everyone's asking for the styling portion of it, because, you know, they're seeing, I do share that on YouTube, so they wanted the combination of both. And so I do now incorporate that, and that's something new that we're kind of adding on. We have our styling service that we kind of tack on to the organization part of it, and really we have been getting a lot of feedback on that, and a lot of people signing up for that also.
That is so awesome. Well, anybody who's watching, that should not be a surprise, because Nikki is well known for her gorgeous style. So she's like the last one to be aware of this, but she's wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my gosh. So it's like, so somebody in the group said earlier today, it's like everything you touch just turns to gold. It's so cool to see that. It's so cool to watch.
Thanks.
So let me jump back to the YouTube for a second, if that's okay.
Sure.
What tips would you give for an organizer or a professional organizer who wanted to start doing some videos online? Because I've been telling people, if you don't love to write, don't start a blog.
Yes.
If you don't love to do video, don't do video. But if you think you might want to do it, what I think, you know, is a great idea is just to get on camera just a little bit, because you're a perfect example of the fact that it's a great way for people to just get to know you. Whether you make, you know, you don't have to make your video blog the focus of your entire business, but just a way for them to show off a little bit of their aesthetic, show a few little projects, you know, talk to the camera and just be real, right? So like what tips would you give those people out there? Because, you know, I have so many girls out there, women, ladies, who feel so perfectionistic about everything they do, and they're just like, well, if I can't do it professional, I can't do it. I'm sure you have some tips. Like,
yes, I have to raise my hand, because I am and was one of those women. Totally learning that, you know, there's no such thing as perfection. It's no such thing. But the thing about it is, the great thing about it is, you can record your video. You don't have to show it to anyone. You can practice 10 times before you put it out there. And see if it's a fit for you. You don't have to post anything live, but you can see how you feel about it. You can look at the, you know, your project, and before you even post it live, let a friend see it, you know, before you post it live. But, you know that because we are all professional organizers, we could really help so many people by just sharing, you know, the smallest thing, you know. So, you know, that's, and you're passionate about it. All of us here, we're passionate. We do this because we're passionate about it. And so, you know, when you get on there, just be passionate and be natural. Show what you love, like you're talking to your girlfriend or your mom, and just do it. Try it one time. Just put yourself out there and have no fear with it. You know, be fearless.
Be fearless. I know that's such good advice. That's such good advice. It's so hard, I guess, but you know, I try to tell people just to keep doing the things that scare them a little bit, and that is like how you grow.
Yes. Yes.
You have to do live video.
Live. I had the biggest fear Facebook Live, but I've been trying to just challenge myself to do it and do it and do it and do it. But you know, it's true. Just keep challenging.
I can definitely relate to that, because a year ago when I started doing the Facebook Live, I would have never thought anybody would ever listen to me. I mean, I had no clue. Sonia said, do it scared.
I love that. I love that. Yeah.
And do it anyway.
Yeah.
So that is really great advice. All right. So if anybody else has any questions, please go ahead and submit them. I'm having to kind of scroll through to see them. So if I missed yours already, I apologize, but we do want to answer a few questions while we're on tonight. But Nikki, share with us, like, tell us a little bit about your subscription service, and then tell us what you see coming next for you, because obviously I was watching one of your videos today and you said, well, I showed you all this when I did this video last year. So I see you, obviously you're repeating some things seasonally, and I'm curious where you continue to get new ideas for things that you want to keep putting out there.
Yes. Well, you know, and you have stumps, and you know, with everything you go through, even with your business, you go through those times where you just, you know, you plateau, and you feel like, where am I going next? And YouTube is like that also. And I always try to share what is going on in my life. That's the easiest road to go. You know, whatever it is you're doing, that is what you share. And
perfect.
All the time where, you know, you're not showing more organizing, you know, videos right now or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm really not doing a lot of organizing right now, but because that's when I get, you know, refreshed. But, you know, my content tends to follow what's going on in my life. So that's why you'll tend to see repeats of certain things, because I may have done my closet 3 years ago and I'm going back and I'm changing it up, and I'll share that also.
That's so smart though. And I'm sure that's another reason why people feel like they know you and they know your home, like they've seen it evolve, because
they
love
have.
Yeah.
And me, I mean, watch the first video. You will definitely see a lot of growth.
That's so awesome. That is really awesome. All right, Lainey wants to know, how do you charge for virtual organizing? I know you have your packages listed on your website, so people can see that if they would like to. And she says also, do you buy supplies for your clients, or do you send the supplies list and let them purchase it?
Well, both ways, to answer that, both ways. Now, if it's the labels, I supply that. If it's anything like bins and baskets, I give them the list. And that's what Whitney does. She creates their shopping list. She sends it to them. She follows up with them to make sure that, you know, they're prepared for our next session and all of that. So we give them a detailed shopping list. While I'm in sessions, we take measurements inside cabinets to make sure that when we choose the bins for them, we have the proper sizes and things like that. So kind of take the load off them as far as having to shop and figure out what type of thing to get, or organizational solution to get. As far as the charging, as far as the sessions, I think Lainey wanted to know if I, what did she want to know, if I charged?
She said, how do you charge for virtual? But you do packages of sessions for virtual.
Yes, right. It's the same with the organizing services. We have the packages, and it's in the, you know, the different tiers. And they pay for the package prior to the first session. So when I go into the session with someone, I know that it's you know, done deal. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Okay, Sarah wants to know, do you, with your virtual packages, do you include any kind of like to-do lists or homework in between the sessions for the client?
Yes.
Or does that depend?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my team has started, they get on me, because a lot of times I'll be in a session, I'll finish the session, I'm all hyped after the session, and I move on to the next thing. So now we have this thing where 15 minutes after the session, I stay in my office, I don't even open the door after the session, and I write up the homework. And then
you mean your team locks you in there?
They lock me. Do you guys believe they lock me in my office and make me do the homework? So
they would have to do that to me too.
Because they know if I don't do it right after it, you know. So I take that time, and then it's fresh on my brain. So I make sure that I'm getting everything in Trello, and I just, you know, put it in Trello, and then Whitney follows up. You know, she follows up with the client to make sure that they're trucking along, that they're ready for the next session, because that really truly helps us. Because if a client doesn't follow up, you know, it makes the next session difficult, or we're not as far ahead as we should be, you know.
Right.
And they're paying for it. They they want to get the most out of it.
Sure, definitely. And so, do you think your virtual clients are more or less on top of their things they need to do than your regular clients, or do you see a difference between them?
I don't see a huge difference. You know, I do notice when I am, you know, when I do follow up, they're pretty good. I have to say they're pretty good, or they're hiding it pretty well.
Okay. Yeah, because you can't see anything that they're not showing.
You know, I can't tend to put it in another room because I can't walk through the entire house, but yeah.
Oh, well, they're very smart.
Yeah, but I do follow up and tell them, you know, at the end of the session, okay, you know, don't stop. Take this bag, take it to the car, do this, you know, so that, you know, we can really have success with it. Yeah.
Definitely. Okay, a couple people want to know how you found your team. And are they contractors? Are they subcontractors? Or are they your employees?
No, they're my employees, and that's something that I was trying to figure out at first. And I even signed up for one of your classes on the contractors to kind of, you know, see.
Yes, you did.
I wanted to go with it because I just wanted to get information. It was great, by the way, because it really helped with my decision of which way to go. And I knew with me having the YouTube and the business, I needed a family and a team. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I knew I had to, you know, have employees, and that's a whole nother baby. But in finding my team, I knew that it had to be, I'm not one that I don't need, you don't have to have all of this, you know, job history and all this. You just need to be creative, dedicated, and a hard worker. Flexible. And so, you know, I was lucky to find that in everyone that I have. So I found, you know, one place that I went as far as the video editing is to my local tech school, because they have a filming department. And so I went there, and that's a great resource as far as, you know, getting students that are like third, fourth year and kind of ready to move into the workforce. But they're still in school, so it really works. Also, Jennifer actually knew our husbands worked together, so we connected, and it's been awesome. Like she's a rock star. She's a rock star.
Good. Oh, okay. This is a good one. Sarah asked, do you require your virtual clients to have certain technology or specific camera or software platforms? How do you like to do it?
So what we do is Jennifer, and she finds this, you know, she kind of talks with the client beforehand, but we tend to, mobile phone is the best. You can FaceTime. If they have an Android, we use Google Hangouts. Those are the two that I've really used. I haven't used anything else because they can move around. They can position me, you know, where I need to be throughout the session without it taking too long and all of that.
Good point.
So, yeah, FaceTime has been the most.
So when they walk you through their house that very first time, they're just showing you on their phone and they're kind of talking you through everything?
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. And so they'll take me around the room, and then I'll ask, well, take me in the closet, and can I see in the drawer? You know, I'm real nosy. So
That's so funny. Yeah, I'm never shy. As soon as I go to a client's house, I'm like, you're fine with me opening all of these drawers and doors, right? And they're like, yeah. You know, we're already at that point. Okay. Question. Here's one from Erica. She says, I can tell from your videos that you live in the most beautiful, cleanest White House ever.
Oh, my goodness.
She said, do you market your services to kid-free households mainly, or do you market to homes with children as well? And then the rest of her question cut off, but let's just talk about that one.
Okay, sure. No,
because I know your children are grown, right?
Yes. And the house is not immaculate. It was immaculate when I took the picture. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but no, I market to everyone now. Definitely, my demographic is women. You know, that's just my demographic. It's funny because a guy came in, and he was just coming in from my business to try to, you know, market about the radio, and he was like, you know, what do you do? And I said, I'm a professional organizer. He was like, what? I said, I'm a professional organizer. He's like, what is that? And I said, you know, I go in home and I help you organize your space. And he was like, why would anybody pay for that?
Men do not get it.
No,
I think that
at all.
is just. I just don't understand that.
And I said,
and that is fine. That is totally fine.
Yeah. So I know that women are my demographic, and yes, I do kid friendly homes and, you know, empty nesters, everyone. So.
Okay. Awesome. And then Adele asked, have you done a video on your YouTube where you explain your consultation process?
No, I don't. Now I have a second YouTube channel. I don't know if you know about that. But it's at Work with Nikki. At Work with Nikki.
Yeah. Okay, I do know about that.
Yeah, and so that is something I do want to do on that channel. I'm actually, my team and I, we are in the works of starting vlogging once a week at work so that I can,
okay.
you know, because I get a lot of questions about professional organizing business, and so that I can kind of take them through so that they can see my struggles, my successes, and just kind of give a realistic picture of my day. So we are working on that, and in the process, that would be something that would be shown.
Okay, fun. Okay, cool. So yes, Adele, look for that. And then a couple other people want to know how many team members you currently have. You have
I have 5.
I have 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have Jennifer, who is the administrative marketing manager. So she handles, she's basically the supervisor, manages the office, and she's my everything. And she's big with the subscription box. She makes sure all of that goes well and allows me to just stay with the creative part of it. You know, she frees me up from all of that. Then I have Whitney, who is my organizing assistant, and she handles that along with, you know, the follow-up with all of the clients, and she goes out on sessions with me, and she's amazing. I have Hazel. She is my graphic artist, so she does all of our graphics. We have the inserts in the box and anything that deals with that.
That's a huge part of the whole thing is just graphics, right?
Yes, yes.
Totally, yeah.
Yes. And then I do sell printables on my website, so she does all of the printables and
perfect,
you know, all of those things there. And then Brianna, she does all of my editing for my filming, so I don't have to deal with that. So that works wonderful. And she does some other things like customer support and stuff like that. And then Mike, and he does all of my bookkeeping. So.
I was wondering if he played a role in this.
Yeah.
My new husband is going to start doing my bookkeeping.
Love it. Yeah, put him to work.
I'm like,
put him to work.
you need to be hired by the company. It will be good for taxes.
Yes.
And that's right up his alley. He loves the math.
Yes.
So, but I did tell him recently, I'm like, can you just take over like all the math stuff?
Yes, because that's a huge part of it, you know?
It is.
And if you, as an entrepreneur, if you pile on all those things that you have to handle as a business owner, it is overwhelming. You know, the professional organizing, if you think about just the organizing part of it, that's a task in itself. So,
it's huge.
Yeah.
It is huge. And that's part of why I started Pro Organizer Studio is because I know there's a ton of women out there who have this dream of starting their business, but the web design part, the graphic design part, the marketing part, like all of that is a totally different skill set than helping people like you're talking about. Like you want to help people and you're so good at it and you're one-on-one with people and like that's where you shine and that's your strength, but you really need some help around you to make it all work together. So that's why we're here too.
That is 100% true. You know, I know what my limitations are too. And even with my rebranding, you know, in February I rebranded my website and you know, have this beautiful site and everything. And that's good and beautiful, but I don't know how to manage a website. I am not behind the scenes with that. So I knew that was something that, you know, and I wouldn't frustrate myself by trying to take that on. You know, I knew if I was going to invest in rebranding, I needed to be able to invest in having someone help me with it. So, yeah.
Perfect. Okay, we do have a question too about your, tell us about your subscription box. How did you decide to do it and what does it entail?
Well, I had wanted to do this for a while, but I couldn't find the right partner to help me execute it because I didn't want the traditional subscription box, a bunch of samples and things like that. I really wanted to be where I could connect with my viewer friends and I could have full control. Yeah. Control freak again, but yeah, I wanted that control. So I found, after I think it was about a 2-year process, but I found perfect partners. And it's going great. I send it out bi-monthly and it's things that I love. I choose everything in the box. And it's something I'm very passionate about. And the great thing about it is with me having Jennifer, she handles all the logistics so that I can really just create the box. So I create the box and she makes the magic happen. She makes it happen.
That is so amazing. So how long have you been doing that part?
Since June. So next week, my 3rd box goes out.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. And so again, was that something you just kind of launched through your email list and told people about?
Well, on my YouTube channel.
You told them on your newsletter as well? Okay.
And it was the perfect fit because over the years, I've been showing so much of my life and all these tidbits that I use from my dishcloth that I love and the products that I love. And so now I'm able to, you know, put them in the subscription box and share them, you know. So
that is cool. Yeah.
And it was important to put internationally because a lot of times, a lot of my viewers on YouTube are international. And funny, I do VO, some of my virtual organizing clients are overseas. So,
oh, wow. Yeah. How fun is that?
Yeah. And so
it's important to see the impact.
Yeah, it's really neat.
That's cool. So the response announcement, the subscription box has been pretty good so far.
Oh, yes. It's been,
yeah.
Now it has been a growing process because it's all new to me, you know, with the shipping and all of those things, but we're now in the third box and everything's kind of smooth sailing. Cross my fingers. It's smooth sailing now, but yeah,
that is cool.
Something, this is a new baby for me. It really was.
Wow. Wow. Well, congratulations on that.
Thank
baby.
you.
A lot of new babies this year.
Oh. And you know, we were talking today and before my team left, and I had proposed something else, and they were like, "Oh, we knew something new was coming. We knew with you was something." I was like, "Yeah, I never want to stay stagnant. I'm always looking for the next thing." You know?
Do you feel like you must be like me, where you like your brain never quite stops thinking of new stuff or how to change things a little bit? I have the same blessing and a curse, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. Omega says, before you ever did a session one-on-one with a client, did you ever take any classes or hire a professional organizer?
No. I just went in raw. No.
Which is that's exactly what I told you to do, right? Yeah, you're good at it.
I'm a good.
You know what you're doing.
I'm a good student. So no, I didn't. But I felt like after the years of sharing and teaching online with YouTube, I felt really confident. You know, because I helped so many people, technically virtually. It's just it hasn't been one-on-one. It's natural for me. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I see that. Isanic says, Nikki, I love your video on how you clean your office weekly with your team. What are your suggestions for starting a similar system when working with people who are very disorganized? So you mean like, a client? I think that, I think she just wants to get your best organizing tips for people who are, I haven't seen that particular video, but about cleaning your office weekly with your team. Okay, yeah. What we do is we take the last 15 minutes of the day and we clean as a team, because technically that's like, with it being actually 4 of us in the office, you take 15 minutes per person, you have an hour worth of cleaning in 15 minutes. So that's so really good. That's how we look at it there. But if she's talking about with her business, I think that when you have that team building and having people around you that are willing to just do it all, do what it takes to get the job done, and they're not kind of set in their own mode, because that's what we're about is getting the job done, and we set up those systems so that we get the job done. And if you're talking about a client, what if I have someone who is just extremely, which I do, disorganized, my first thing is just to clear the things that are just declutter, because a lot of times they just have so many things that are just in the way they can't think. And then from that point, I kind of teach them, how to not hold on to things. Why do you get mail? Go online, your homework, go online, get all of it electronically. So you don't have to look at that anymore. So just giving them simple tools so that they clear the clutter out of their lives. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Definitely. Let's see. Priscilla asks, what is your best tip for somebody that wants to start on this business, which I'm assuming she just means a professional organizer in general? What is your best tip for somebody that wants to get started? I would say just start. I'm probably the worst one. I don't know. I'm probably not the best to ask, but I am just ruthless when it comes to that. If it's something I want to do, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to get out there and I'm going to learn. I'm going to watch YouTube videos about it. I'm going to find my gin. And I'm just going to jump out there and do it. Because you can, a lot of times, and I know, you can think about things for years, and you can write all kind of notes, and you can plan for years. So true. Like for years. Yeah. You're stuck. For years. And you're like, I haven't figured it all out yet, so I can't start. That's why I started wanting to talk to people like this, you know? Yes. Just get out there and just do it. And the great thing about our profession is you don't have to have a building. You don't have to have all of these things. You can start from home. Business cards, you can get. You don't have to have, even with YouTube. You don't have to have them. No, YouTube is free. You don't need a camera. Use your phone. Just make sure the lighting and the sound is up. Good. You don't need big equipment to start that, and that is where you can start with your marketing. You have a home. Your home is your. Yep. That's where you can start with your portfolio, your own home. Mm-hmm. If you look on my website, it is my home, because literally I have that portfolio to have a lot of clients where I can take pictures and have that on my website. So using using friends and home. That's what use your resources now. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know. You're so right. I feel like I hear that from people a lot is they're saying like, well, I'm scared to put pictures of just my house, like before and after out there. And I'm like, why? Like, nobody has to know that, first of all. And second of all, you got to start somewhere. And like, and if you even have one area of your house that you're like, this is cute, you know, I did this and I can make like good photos of this. That's a great place to start with a video, start with some pictures. And you're the perfect person to point to, is like you just said, your whole house has basically been your portfolio, but you're showing your thought process in every single video that you, and that is like, that's like where the magic happens. And obviously people feel your personality.
Yes. Yes.
So,
and then too, if you feel,
awesome.
in some, you know, and if you don't feel confident, doing it at your home, go to your friend girl's house. You know, if she has a closet that needs organized, and say, hey, let's organize your closet. And pictures of the before and that, you know, use your resources, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel the same way. Yeah. Same way. Okay, Dina has a question. She says, how has it been as an African-American woman in this industry?
Great. Great. I mean, I don't see, I guess on YouTube, they're not, now there's more, but when I started, I don't remember too many African-American women doing the same concept that I was doing as far as showing the home and organizing. But then quickly, I noticed that there were a lot more. Maybe I didn't find them, you know, I didn't see them right off. I'm not really sure. But no, I don't, you know, I don't see any struggles or anything in my clients. They're from every walk of life. So yeah, but no.
I think, well, and I definitely have noticed that, you know, I've heard my clients say, you know, it doesn't really matter how long somebody has been an organizer. It's like, it's all, or where they came from or what their background was. It's like, it's all about who you connect with, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think that's another reason why this is such an awesome opportunity, if this is something that people love, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And
it's all about relationship building.
Relationships, you know?
Yeah.
Help people regardless. So if you connect with someone, no matter, you know, what color or where they're from, you know, I had some of the women that I have met here, a lot of them are from India, and you know, you never think, I'm like, oh, and we connect, and you know, they may be from England, but we connect, you know, so you know, and we all have that thing in common, you know, we're mothers, we're women, we love our home, we love, you know, home, we all have that in common, you know.
That is really, really cool. That is really awesome. And you've gotten, you know, more chance than any of us probably to connect with all kinds of people who are reaching out to you and saying, you know, I need a little bit more help than just watching a video. Like, I need a little bit more encouragement. And like you said, pushing them where it's needed, and encouragement where, you know, that's called for. So it's just awesome to hear you talking about that. So thank you for sharing.
Oh, no, I love it.
Okay, let me do a few more questions and then we'll wrap it up. Oh, okay. So Omega says, and this is so funny because I was thinking about this when I was planning my interview in my head with you. I was wondering if Nikki Boyd has a Nikki Boyd method, but Omega asked, do you have any opinions on the book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, the KonMari method?
You know, I do agree with it. I think that, you know, having those things that you love is important, and just clearing those things out that, you know, if you don't love it, don't keep it. And you know, the problem is I love a lot. There's a lot of things I love, so it's hard to But, you know, with me,
love all things white.
All things white, which helps me because I am a very, I have so many things going through my mind. I'm a very just go person. So I need that color around me to calm me. You know, I need just when I go that peacefulness, you know, I need that.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of people think it's, you know, you know, you don't have color in your house or this and that, but that makes me feel great. It makes me feel like my heaven, you know.
I'm the exact same way. I have to have neutral because my brain is not in neutral.
Yeah. No, I'm very colorful. Yeah. So, but what I do for myself is because I am that person that I love dishes and I love things, but I love clutter. So I give myself limitations. So I'll say, okay, I have this cabinet that I can fill up with all the teacups I love, but I can't go beyond that. You know, so I do appreciate that method. But I think that you should have, you know, what you love in the quantities that you feel happy with, but just give yourself reasonable limitations, you know. Yeah.
Well, that is awesome. So you do you find that you have sort of any particular what's the word? I guess everybody has their own sort of method that they bring together from their life experience as an organizer. Yeah. And I tell people this all the time. It's like, that's okay. It's okay to be a little bit more minimalist or a little bit more kind of, you know, color coded, and, you know, people come from different backgrounds. So do you feel like do you feel like you try to teach your clients your way of thinking, or do you more like try to go by their personality and kind of adjust based on what works for them?
No, you really have to go. I feel that you have to go by their personality, because what works for me is not going to work for you or work for someone else. But that's right. That's the beautiful thing about what we do is, the ability to go and assess and look at someone's situation and be able to give them tips that are going to work for them. How I use the binder system for my files, but that's not going to work for everyone. They may need, hanging files, or they may not even need that type of filing system. So, no, I never try to go in and kind of make everybody do what I do. That's totally not my goal at all. I love, and that keeps my job creative, because it keeps me on my toes, because I'm always figuring out ways, okay, that's not going to work for her. How is she going to function? Okay, let me figure this out. And so that's the fun part of my job, is figuring out how to make their life simple. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you think it surprises any of your clients that you work with remotely, that you are a little tougher with them than maybe you come across in your videos? Or do you think that they kind of expected that a little bit?
I think a few of them were a little surprised, because they did comment to Jennifer, she's tough, but but for the most part, I make it fun. We do laugh through it, and I'm like, girl, don't show me another purse. Do not show me. So it's fun, but I'm all about, let's get that stuff out of your house. So
absolutely. Erica said, as Nikki always says, your stuff that is no longer her wanted could be another person's blessing. Yeah. So your little mantras have definitely taken hold in their mind. Misty asked, and I think that this would be a great last question to end on. Yeah, I was seeing what time it was. Misty asked, what has been your biggest challenge since starting, and what has been your greatest reward? Awesome question.
My biggest challenge has been letting go of control. I will be honest. Yeah. Like I said, I was a one-man show, so really, I have an awesome team, but just having that trust and letting go. I feel like in the beginning, I felt like I had a team, but I was still doing everything because I felt like only Nikki could do it, and that's not the case. That is so not the case. I have great people around me. I have very smart people around me, and they can handle it. And so, releasing that control has been a big one for me. And I'm not all the way there, but I am doing so much better with it. But that has been my biggest challenge. The success, I would say, is just the amount, being able to manage everything and be a benefit to my clients. That's the thing that's the most important to me, is being able to not start this business and forget about my YouTube family and all of my friends out there. That's so important for me. And I think some of them, and someone had even mentioned that to me, is that we thought when you started your business, you were going to, kind of not do videos as much, or, kind of go to the side. No, that I am so passionate about them and also about my friends, so, being able to keep all that together has been my biggest accomplishment, I feel. Yeah.
That is so awesome and so inspiring. I know I speak for a lot of the girls who are watching this now and that will watch this on the replay. I want to just read this comment. Melody said, Nikki, you were one of the first women I started watching organization videos on YouTube. I absolutely love your channel, and your morning cleaning routine has changed my life as far as a clean home. And this is a professional organizer talking to you, saying to you, you have inspired her and changed her life on a personal level. And I know so many other of my girls out there are saying the exact same thing. And I know there's gonna be a lot of people watching this on the replay who are gonna be making even more comments along the same line. So just from all of us and from me, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. You guys
about your story and about your business.
Oh, thank you.
It's incredible. And I'm so glad that it's so neat that you, like you said, when you just started that very first video and you're like, here goes nothing, right? And to come along on this journey and to know that you have impacted so many people who are now more organized in their own lives and more stylish in their own lives. But now, other women who already were organizing obsessed. And I haven't even asked you to comment on the fact that organizing videos on YouTube, it's like, what is it about them? They're like addictive. People love it.
Or even watching someone clean. It's like you can just sit there and watch.
What do you think that's about? I mean, because obviously that's how a lot of the PO Studio girls found you, is because they already loved organizing, but I guess that they were...
And I think it's the fact
looking for those types of things.
It's refreshing, like to see something coming together and then see it put together. I think it's just refreshing. And then the fact that you're not having to do it. You're watching someone do the work, but you're getting to see the end result. I think that's a lot of it. So, and then the desire to want to be organized. You know, we all want our homes to be clean and organized. So we use it as motivation. You know, you're watching a lady clean her house, and then you're like, let me get up and clean that kitchen. You know, it's our kind of our motivation. You know.
That's incredible, and it's so cool that you have played a role in so many of their journeys without even knowing it. So thank you so much for coming onto Pro Organizer Studio and for sharing your story and your tips.
I am so honored. I'm like fanning out. I'm here with Jen. Thank you for having me here.
Well, I hope we can do this in person one day because hello, South Carolina girls in the house. We don't live that far away from each other. I know. Anytime you want to have lunch with me, you just let me know.
Yes, we will. No, for sure.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Well, thank you guys. Thank you all so much who watched this, and thank you, Nikki, for being here. If you guys watch this and you don't follow Nikki yet, you need to go on YouTube. It's At Home with Nikki. She has tons of videos for you to binge on or just listen to as you're driving in the car. I find a lot of people really like that. Kind of use them like podcasts almost. Nikki has her website at homewithnikki.com where you can see all of her services and all the many things that she has going on, which is incredible to go check out. Like she said, she does a newsletter every week, which is, I'm sure full of valuable content and the latest updates. So I know she would love for you to subscribe to that. And if you guys watch this and didn't know me and didn't know anything about what Pro Organizer Studio is, we are a business and design resource for professional organizers. And if you didn't know that getting paid to organize other people was a thing, now you know. Nikki is an incredible inspiration. We also have lots of resources for you at proorganizerstudio.com. Thank you again, and we look forward to sharing many more interviews with you in the future. Nikki was a fabulous first person to come onto our channel and share with us, and we look forward to talking to you all soon. Thank you again, Nikki.
Bye. Thanks, everyone.
Good night. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.